This is the most high-tech headband ever created, but not for the reason you might think. Now, you might be shocked to learn that flag football is actually the fastest growing sport here in America. But while many experts will cite safety as the reason for record participation numbers, just because there's no tackling in flag football doesn't mean the athletes are immune from getting injured, specifically when it comes to head impacts, including concussions. In fact, one study that analyzed 17 different professional and collegiate flag football games identified 92 different instances of head impacts, equal to almost 5.5 per game, with roughly half of those coming as a result of jump balls. But what are these flag football players supposed to do? Wear helmets? Well, for most of the sport's history, that's been the only option. And even though these soft shell rugby style caps are effective in limiting concussions, they also absorb a lot of sweat, they're warm on a player's head, and let's be honest, they don't look that cool. That's why in 2021, a Baltimore startup began interviewing athletes who played flag football to ask about what they would actually wear. And overwhelmingly, they kept hearing the same answer: headbands. So over the next few years, this same team heavily invested into research, new technology, and product development. And then in June of 2023, they launched one of the best designed pieces of football equipment I think I've ever seen. Now, on the surface, this might just look like a normal headband with a bit of extra padding, but what you don't see is the custom-made foam that lines the inside of this band. Apparently, the EVA foam used in this headband is typically used in running shoes because of its ultra lightweight properties. However, this stuff has actually been custom designed to also disperse high-end impacts. It also absorbs 35% less sweat as compared to other soft shells and headbands on the market, keeping it both lightweight and more comfortable. But maybe the coolest part of this whole design is the fact that this entire headband is ultrasonically welded together, which not only makes it more durable than headbands that are sewn together, but it also just makes it look a lot better. And after talking to the designers of this product, I learned that their biggest competition isn't other products on the market, but rather athletes wearing nothing at all. That's why it's so impressive that Seismic, the company responsible for this X7C headband, has not only been able to design something that has a 5-star safety rating from Virginia Tech and has been proven to reduce head impacts by 41%, but their headband is now being worn by more flag football players than any other brand on the market. Not bad for just being in year 2.